Oh, sorry, people had to split it into two halves, so let's recontinue. Sometimes he carried a tray of red, black, and green berries, wore a blindfold, and played guess the berry games with her. Andriambahoaka's two wives were jealous. They had been stunned by how beautiful Aimatsuanala was when she arrived, but now she was skinless and eyeless. She was just a bag of bones. They did not understand why Andriambahoaka was still spending so much time with such an ugly thing. They bullied Aimatsuanala. Until you are married to Andriambahoaka, you are just an ordinary person, a servant. You will have to do exactly what we ask you to do. They deliberately ran their clothes through mud and gave them to her to wash. They made her scrub the kitchen floors even though they knew she could not see. Aimatsuanala did all these chores without complaining. I'm learning new things, she said to herself. When they gave her the thinnest reeds in the land and asked her to weave large baskets, she cried inside. She could not see. She pricked her hands on the reeds until they bled. Avorombe noticed the puddles forming around her daughter's hanging eyes and felt sorry for the way she had treated Aimatsuanala. She had been too angry. She had punished her too much. I should go to her, she said to Angoria and the Bipo. They smiled and nodded. They had been too scared to tell her. They thought she had been very cruel to her daughter. Avrombe found Aimatsuanala on the floor of a special shadow chamber in the palace. She was surrounded by reeds and was sobbing. Avrombe embraced her daughter. I'm sorry, my child. That wasn't fair. You're human, and I should let you live as humans live if you choose. I'll return your skin. She took the reeds from her daughter and sat beside her. In no time, she had finished weaving the baskets, and Aimatsuanala took 8 perfect large packets to Andriambahoaka's 2 wives. The wives were shocked. When they were alone, they turned the baskets this way and that, looking for flaws they could complain about. There were none. They had done all they could to upset Aimatsuanala, and she was still there with them in the palace. She had not run back to the forest where she belonged. We need to do more, they said. They marched to Andriambahoaka's chamber and confronted him. Our chief, they pleaded. We both love the young girl that you brought into the palace, but it's been weeks now. It's not right for her to stay in the palace if you're not going to marry her. The people will start to talk. You're right, said Andriambahoaka. You should marry her right away. It's the best thing. We can help arrange the wedding, they said, giggling. Andriambahoaka didn't want to agree because he didn't want his skinless Aimatsuanala to have to remove her veil outside, in the hot sun, in front of all these people. But he had no choice. His wives were right. It was the correct thing to do. He was upset all day, and he told Aimatsuanala when he went to see her in the shadow chamber. He suggested they get married in 2 days, touching her skinless hand gently so he would not hurt her. She smiled. She didn't tell him that her mother was hiding in the room, but she soothed him. All is well, my chief. I want to marry you. I'll be there. Avrombe got to work immediately. She flew out of Aimatsuanala's window at night and returned to Angoria and the Bipo. She placed Aimatsuanala's skin and eyes carefully, and the Bipo prepared special herb and flower mixtures for Aimatsuanala to rub over her body. Angoria wore over a gold toga, and Avrombe made the most delicate veil of white and gold to cover her daughter's head. The Bipo flitted back and forth, taking measurements so the clothes would fit perfectly. He braided the dandelion-shaped hair on Aimatsuanala's head so that it would down her back in tidy cornrows. On the day of the wedding, Andriambahoaka waited nervously for Aimatsuanala to arrive. He stood on a large platform by the palace steps. In front of him, a huge crowd cheered. They were waiting to see the beauty their king had spoken of for so long. The one he had said, hair shaped like the setting sun, the smell of the finest musk, a shade the dark of dusk, a smile as playful as a lion cub, flesh as plump as a young baobab, skin the texture of silk, teeth the color of coconut milk, and a voice like the startling song. Behind Andriambahoaka, his 2 wives sneered. They were tired of sharing their good-looking husband with Aimatsuanala. They could not wait for all the people to see the skinless and eyeless bag of bones they had been living with. They had already told many of their friends, but no one believed them because the king was known always to tell the truth. The crowd gasped as Aimatsuanala appeared from the side of the palace, guided by Angoria. They had never seen so clothes so radiant, so well made. They watched as she walked unsteadily to stand in front of Andriambahoaka. He lifted the veil slowly, not caring if all the people thought he was mad for being in love with a skinless woman. But when he flicked the veil back, he was stunned to see the old Aimatsuanala, with skin, with eyes, with a huge smile, staring back at him. He embraced her and kissed her immediately, unable to contain his joy. The crowd was silent. Aimatsuanala's radiance was unlike anything they had seen before. Avrombe flew over the gathering, her large shadow giving them a moment's relief from the glittering sun. Everyone looked up, then back at their king, Andriambahoaka and at Aimatsuanala, then they applauded wildly. She was a perfect bride for their king, and they were right. Unlike his other wives, whose hearts had turned to stone because of jealousy, Aimatsuanala bore a son. He was named after his father, Andriambahoaka, and grew up to become the greatest ruler the island had ever had. Okay, peace, family. I hope you enjoyed this African folktale. Please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. I'll leave my Instagram so you can find that. And if you want to support this channel, leave the PayPal in the description. Peace, family.